Hi, good afternoon. Tonight I will be appearing with Jeffrey Doherty on his channel, on the new Cosmic Knowledge channel at 5 p.m. Pacific time. I wanted to remind you to show up on his channel at 5 p.m. Jeffrey and I will be talking about something, and I'm going to give you a little bit of early homework for that. And this is Mark 11, and beginning with verse 12. So this is Jesus curses a fig tree and clears the temple courts. The next day, as they were leaving Bethany, Jesus was hungry. Seeing in the distance a fig tree in leaf, he went to find out if it had any fruit. When he reached it, he found nothing but leaves, because it was not the season for figs. Then he said to the tree, "May no one ever eat fruit from you again." And his disciples heard him say it. And then directly after that, on reaching Jerusalem, Jesus entered the temple courts and began driving out those who were buying and selling there. He overturned tables of the money changers and the benches of those selling doves, and would not allow anyone to carry merchandise through the temple courts. And as he taught them, he said, "Is it not written that my house will be called a house of prayer for all nations," all people? "But you have made it a den of robbers." So, there is something that I want to be able to discuss with Jeffrey, and unfortunately it's not something that's going to be discussed in a 10 or 15 minute video, because this is quite detailed. And I believe that it's going to help you understand some of the things that I've been discussing about people around you, and how to keep your circle small and why. So I want to discuss these things, and I also want to give you a little bit of context, because some people have responded and say, hey, why let these things bother you, these attacks? Again, the reason why I'm illustrating them to you as a teaching tool, so you understand what they look like and how the mind of people looks now, and how it's going to be amplified as time goes on. Now, this is going to happen quickly. Folks, what is coming quickly. I cannot express that enough, that the sense that I receive in my soul is that these things are coming quickly upon us, and that it's not about the destruction of the world that is coming immediately, but think about the times before now and then, that people will seek death and death will flee from them. So I wanted to help you understand what is taking place in the mind, and I'll show a clip of this if necessary. But I've also received another attack through the same individual from yesterday, showing some emails. Now, let me help you understand the emails that I received. It was more inquisitive that I've even gone back and looked at these things, because as I've always said, I receive thousands of emails. And to illustrate that, I receive thousands of emails from many different people. And so I cannot possibly read all of them. Now, and I'm telling you this so you understand why I am shutting off all email activity, both the Red Letter Disciple, both my all of my Gmail accounts, and I will not have any contact. I apologize for this, but no contact, and for good reason, because it is the contact that seems to engage people's minds. Now, even though I didn't contact this person until I asked the question much later within the emails, when something struck me as startling, I have a woman, and I'm just going to give a first name, and her name is Karen. Over the course, as I've searched through the emails, as I had one email sent to myself and Melia, which was intended to divide, and that's not going to happen. So in this email stirred my curiosity, and I did a search within my Gmail box to see all of the emails sent from this individual. That apparently there was an entire fantasy going on for months in her own mind. When you do a search on Gmail, you'll know this. Search one single email, and all of the emails from that person will come up, and then the page numbers will show up on the right-hand side, right-hand top portion of Gmail. When I do this, and I find this person's specific email. I have 50 emails on every single page, and I have 45 pages of 50 of emails from her, where this person is speaking as though they're having some fantasy relationship with me. Now, this is a startling thing, and apparently that if I don't respond to those, well, then I'm actually authorizing this fantasy. So this is the demented and disabled thought process within people's minds, that the enemy is doing this. And the saddest part of this is that these emails, every one of them, with some very lewd references to me in them after I got to look back on them, every single one of them finishes with a auto signature with some words from Jesus. I can't express to you the level of disgust from the enemy that this brings to me. Now, the level of attacks have increased. As I've said, law enforcement is involved, and that's where it's going to stay. Because law enforcement is going to have to deal with these things, because I believe, as I said, this person has become criminally insane and made some very startling accusations about me, which are incredibly false. And the law enforcement officers, based on the texts, see just that. They're no dummies. So the expose of this has to happen. It must. But as a result of this, it has shown me and demonstrated to me that all contact must cease. So I apologize for that you cannot email me questions. Everything will have to be relegated to comments on the comment section. And that goes for both this channel and the Red Letter Disciples, because the attacks in private email exchanges have just become too great, and the seemingly authorization that email seems to give people, that in their mind they think just in the lack of response from me is somehow permission to continue. So without being able to control people, which I have no intention of doing, I am here to help you free yourself from the controls, from these demonic controls. So until that can be accomplished in people, I will continue to wear black and continue to mourn for everybody. I do encourage you to join the channel tonight with Jeffrey, because I believe it's going to be a lively discussion. There is much to learn. Jeffrey is having some very, very eye-opening moments in his life, as I am. I have learned a tremendous amount from these things. So I am always thankful, just as I'm thankful for the trials and tribulations that have shown me the things that I'm able to speak to you. So I will also learn from these and be able to bring things that I've seen in them. So this is where I say that I go through these so you don't have to. That hopefully the things that I experience become something that you can see and avoid these pitfalls. It truly saddens me that any personal communication must be protected, but I also understand one thing about this, is that the Father showed me something this morning very, very clearly, that because I am such a target of the enemy, that in reaching out and even speaking to people, that I potentially bring the enemy to that person, because the enemy then identifies them as a target. So with that said, there is also a confirmation in that I need to cease all communications for your protection as well as mine. So I love you very much, and please, I'll try to make more podcasts and more videos to convey and try to answer more of your questions within that context, because you're not going to have any other outlet to contact me. Phone numbers will be changed, email addresses will be changed, everything. So I love you very much, and again, I apologize that I even have to bring these things up, but I believe that it is a prism into looking into the different variations of how the enemy functions, because these things are going to be greater. I've received a tremendous amount of support from all of you, and I love that, and I thank you very much. Also, anybody that has connected with me on Facebook, those will be removed as well. Everything will be reduced down to just my immediate family. So even former colleagues, everyone will be removed. I have to remove myself and withdraw from all personal communications. And this likens to the scripture where Christ, when he was doing these things, it says, Jesus entreated no man because he knew what was within them. So, unfortunately, that so few can distort the truths. Now, please also understand this, and all of you will know who you are, that there are many that I have actually personally communicated with, and many that came out here and met at the gathering in Arizona, and you are just beautiful souls and unbelievable people. And I do not know what I'm going to do with those communications just yet, but I do feel to some degree that I may need to withdraw from those as well. I love you very much, and I hope that you can keep me in prayer and keep those around me that have been attacked in prayer. Lift us up, because we certainly need the strength. I will continue to speak the things that I'm going to speak. I am never going to stop. I will finish what I've been intended to finish. I will continue to take every step I'm asked to take, and nothing will deter that.